I'd like to call the June 9th meeting to order, please. Please rise for the prayer and pledge of allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just ask that you be with us tonight as we do the business for the Village of Elsie. May we do it to your glory and honor and to all the citizens. We ask this in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any corrections, additions, or deletions to this evening's agenda? I just wanted to point out one thing that we did kind of do a little bit different. So we did put a public comment after the fire authority contract discussion, just so that, people don't have to wait until the end to give a discussion. So everybody will have 3 minutes at that time, so.
I'll motion to approve the agenda as written.
Support.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the minutes from May 12th, 2026. Is it just the one? Yeah, there was two separate that we'll need. Yep. So we'll need the public hearing for the water and the actual council minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the special meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to support the minutes from the special hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the May meeting.
Support.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Presentation of the bills. Bills this month came to $35,000.
Oh, wow. That's not,
I'm missing a digit.
I don't think that.
$35,088.95.
I'll motion to pay the bills for $35,088.95.
Support.
Motion's been made and seconded to pay the bills. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Special reports, Clinton County Commissioners joining us this evening. Ms. Nicole Fleus for a county update.
Well, come over here so I'm not all up in that camera, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Okay, well, I appreciate y'all giving me the time and apologize for my computer and all the things. I think first and foremost, I just want to recognize the rising costs and inflation that everybody's feeling. And we're all feeling it at our homes, we're feeling it at businesses, and we're feeling it in government. You look at what it costs to operate our infrastructure, our public safety, our emergency services, be able to have drinking water and things like that. Everyone is experiencing these 40 to 50% cost increase, all at the same time. Things have been crumbling, society's been changing. The needs are beyond what we can handle. And that's not just for here, that's everywhere. And it's especially in the Lansing region that's recognizing this. I went to Lansing Economic Forum last week at the Kellogg Center. It was packed with everybody you can imagine. And I think it was a wake-up call. That was what they were calling it. We need to wake up. Lansing is, we need to reinvent ourselves. We need to grow. We need to be better, and we're failing. And yada, 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 and prices are up and costs are up. And then the conversation turned toward the rural areas don't want growth. And that we need to be told, and we need to be given a wake-up call too, that things are bad. And I'm sitting here and I'm scribbling on this notepad like nobody's business, because I don't think we need to be told the state of affairs. And I don't think we need to be told what we need to do. I think that it was very clear in that meeting that Lansing would like to tell us how they want us to grow so they could use our land, and things like that. And I think that it's time that we stand up and say what we want. We all know that we can't, that the tax base is, it's not enough in any community around here to sustain the projections of what we need. And we all have to start working together and talking to each other, you know, whether it's the library districts or who's ever doing what. I think there is a massive shift towards the need for partnerships, because none of us can do it alone. And you look at the hot button items and you just say one phrase or one word and everyone's divided. And I think at this moment we need to talk about, where do we agree? Where do we start? And I've done this recently in some meetings with different folks at the county, different folks elsewhere with the boards that I work with. And to be able to talk about something and move forward, you say, okay, what do we agree on? What are we trying to do here? And it really helps move a conversation forward with serving the public need, because we're all required to do things statutorily. We've got a lot of things coming down from up top that are unfunded mandates, whether it's your health department, health and human services, Medicaid's getting cut. If you're on food assistance, if you are in, you know, any kind of category where you really need just a little bit of a lift up, you're going to be scrutinized. You're going to be forced to report work requirements and things like that. And that policy is being written right now as to how do we really do that. And the things that were tossed out initially were having volunteer hours and education hours count towards those work requirements for people who really, the working poor is growing. The people that are, they're double income families, they're both going to work, or whatever your family structure is or your life structure, everybody's trying to do their best and they're not meeting their needs. And so I think, again, it's really time for us to define what's going to be prosperity here. How do you want your land used? After that meeting, they would not let me give my little 2 cents. They asked if I had a question. I said, oh, no, I don't have a question. But I spoke to everybody afterwards and was like, hey, we are growing. I think you could probably attest to the fact, I know a lot of the other areas, the permitting applications for home-based businesses and the growth, and people wanted to do these, heavy machinery operations out of their structure they built in their own property. That's on the rise. And you've got people that want to move home. These are family members and community members that really, this is their heart and this is their home. And those are the folks that want to come here. And how can we as communities and local municipalities, you especially who have your own planning and zoning, or whatever it all, how can we find a place for our people to come home? What does that look like? What does this community want? And I could rattle off all the things that the county's doing, which we're doing a lot, which is great. But just please think of that, because my message to them was collaborative land use strategy, okay? You want us to grow, you want to come here and do this, and you want us to all be together, let's talk together. Don't say, hey, you're all failing, maybe because we are too, I don't know. But, just from a county standpoint, we've got a data center moratorium right now. Those are very unpopular with the public. Aaron Brockovich is all over this. The main thing people talk about is water use. So how can we as a community, like a region, have a water resource policy so it strengthens what we can sort of protect and allow in certain areas? And the county has approved the comprehensive land use plan for the 10 general townships moving forward. And the thought there with the planning commission is to really talk to the folks that even do their own and that are on our border. So if we work together on some things, it strengthens everything for all of us. And it makes it a lot easier. You don't really want starkly different things on different sides of the street. Aside from that, the deputy administrator has resigned. His last day is June 18th. We've got a talent acquisition consultant working to recruit and hire that. We have put the building department back together with planning and zoning under a community development model that we had previously with the leadership of Doug Riley. At this point, the community development director will be the manager, and you've got your building department, and your planner will be doing the planning. And we've got the talent consultant working on that as well. And I think that's about it. Unless anybody's got questions, comments, anything you want people to hear. Oh yeah, animal control has an administrative position now, so they can answer the phones. They can help return calls, because there is an animal crisis as well. Lots of animals. That's really what I know. You guys got any questions, comments?
No.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Let me know if you need anything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
few hours I had available. Plus, things related to the Dairy Festival kind of get in the way, so I'm hoping that after the Dairy Festival, I can spare a little more time to get down there and do some work.
I will say, I've noticed the path for the leaves is starting to get packed down and be used adequately.
Oh,
It's very nice.
There's been a few times I go back there, people dump their leaves.
I've seen a couple spots up front where people are just being lazy, but the path is actually getting formed now. I make it a point to do the full loop so I can show that it's going
Yeah, I drive back there just to do a couple
Yeah,
laps.
just to wear it down.
We'll get there.
At some point, it'd be nice to maybe try to level that out a little bit.
You know,
I know everybody's really busy, but if we can get some of the
miles
hoses,
would be
yeah.
It's way better than
The
it was.
golf cart feels like I'm off-roading back there. I'm okay with it, but the wife gets a little nervous.
That's because she's riding with you.
There.
That ain't all right. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you, sir.
Under village business update for me, I'm actually gonna turn it over to Destiny. She's it's actually in your packet if you guys wanted to read along. She did.
The single thing.
Yes, sir.
So,
Very good. Oh, yeah,
you get it?
I got it, thank you.
So as the village manager for the Village of Elsie, it's my responsibility to address our financial issues so that the council can make a determination and decisions that are important for the future of our village here in Elsie. So I just wanted to address a few things here that we are currently facing. The Village of Elsie is still under a DEP Emergency Deficit Elimination Plan. Reporting duration has been completed.
It's not completed.
Has not been completed, thank you. We have a financial audit coming out later this summer that will hopefully show things are heading in the right direction. In April of 2025, $207,918 had to be paid back to other interlocal funds to include the water and sewer fund. We have since settled with these accounts. However, as a result, we are pretty much down to zero to start April of 2026, leaving us with $10,668 in our general fund. According to our financial controller, Steve Adair, who in fact completes the DEP financial reporting monthly to the state of Michigan on the Village of Elsie's behalf, has indicated that yes, we are on the path forward. The cash flow is improving. Still not great. Even a year from now, $90,000 is anticipated to be in our general fund. A couple of months before tax collection starts, that's nothing to brag about. The Village of Elsie still has some financial healing to do here, and the water infrastructure repairs that are needed are $9.2 million. Let me say that again, $9.2 million, and that's for the 5-year plan. That's not including the 10, that's not including the 20. If we don't get serious about the water infrastructure, it will fail. And we all know what happens when something fails. Literally takes years to rebuild. No different than the Elsie Dam. Prices that come with engineering and material to fix the infrastructure will continue to rise and rise. The time for action is now. I truly don't believe we can withstand and wait another year for this. Therefore, like I have indicated several times, this project cannot move forward unless the Village of Elsie and the Village of Elsie residents, aka the taxpayer, truly make a decision. Are we going to continue to accept the poor quality of water here in the Village of Elsie, or are we going to be willing to fix the problem, do our part, and make a difference? Right now, we literally have less than $100,000 in our water and sewer account. What happens if something detrimental fails or breaks? Where does this money come from? Michigan has continued to cut state shared revenue, and grants are not easily accessible like they used to be. CDS appropriation money has become very controversial and competitive market for state senators and state representatives, especially when two municipalities from the same village make a request. Elsie Water Infrastructure or Elsie Fire Authority, new fire barn. Very hard decisions to make. At the end of the day, we all have, it all comes from a cost and a service to provide. We have to provide a service, and it all comes with a cost and a sacrifice. Several things come to mind when I look at where we started and where we are today in the Village of Elsie. As part of our core mission as an organization, we have a fiduciary responsibility to the residents here in the Village of Elsie. Look around. Roads and sidewalks need to be repaired. Several trees need to be cut down at both the cemetery and on the village right-of-ways throughout our entire community. These things have been neglected due to financial issues. However, we as an organization have a duty to provide these services to our residents. Right now, we have a full-time vacancy for a DPW position, $16 an hour. When the city of Ovid's paying $18, when they increase that year after year. Several things, oh no, I already said that, didn't I? Sorry. So before anyone demands making voluntary contributions to anything in the village, I think we really need to take a strong look at what we have in the village here and what we owe to our taxpayers and what we don't. So that's my little rant, my 2 cents for tonight.
Moving on to number 2, Fire Authority contract decision. Discussion, I'm sorry. Anybody wanna start off with questions, or?
Is there anybody from the authority that, I've got a few questions, I'm just curious who I should address specifically.
What questions do you have?
Well, one, I'm kind of disappointed that our representative for the authority isn't here. I haven't really seen him at any of our meetings. I think Mr. Boots is our representative, isn't he?
You have a representative.
Aren't we in Duplain Township?
I am the Duplain Township board member. So there's 5 of us, there's a new structure. Ryan Boots and Amy Bowen, myself, are for Duplain Township. Rick Zemla and Tim Regal are for Fairfield Township. And Craig Green is a member at large that we have chosen.
Okay. I was not aware of that, I apologize. When I was reading through the contract, I noticed that Duplain Township now has to pay 1.5 mil. Is that correct for the fire department?
Duplain and Fairfield, correct.
Is that an increase from the last one?
Before we were paying $46 per capita.
Is it? I guess,
So
I
yes,
don't know
it is
that.
an increase.
It is an increase.
Yes.
And like as I've reported here in the past, I know Clinton area is also increasing their per capita. So to me, that says that the millage that we've had in the past is probably not gonna cover that. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is why in our August elections, I believe, Dawn, we are going to be asking for an increase.
An increase on the millage?
Correct.
Okay. Now, oh, go ahead.
It's just taking us back to what we used to be.
Right. Which I agree that sitting on the other side of the Clinton area, like I understand, we need to get there. It needs to happen. Now with that being said, I believe the village residents, I can't remember if it's 47% or 43%, so we'll just go in the middle and say 45 to be fair. I believe 45% of the village residents make up Duplain Township. So, with that being said, that means 45% of that millage is paid by the residents in Duplain Township, or in the Village of Elsie, correct? Would that assumption be
If those
accurate?
numbers are correct.
Is it 43, Don? Do you-
Okay.
I don't think it's 43% now, because I just sent out postcards to all registered electorate households, and in Duplain Township, there's 1,032, and there are 425 in the Village of Elsie residents.
So anybody got quick math? What's that percentage?
39%.
39? So 39%, 40%, we'll say 40% of that millage is paid by the Village of Elsie residents already. So they already pay that amount of money to the fire department for it to operate. And then on top of that, we're being asked to pay an additional $30,000 on top of what we're already paying for the millage. My question is, how is that right? Like, what is the justification behind that?
If I may, Cory, I'm one of the fire authority. You live in the village.
Yep.
How close is your closest neighbor?
My closest?
Yeah.
500 foot, 600 foot?
Okay. Is that the norm in the village, or are they closer together?
Varies, I guess. They're probably closer.
Okay. If there is a fire at this location, okay, what happens to the places on either side? They are they are close, so the chances that they will catch is also, rising. That doesn't happen in Fairfield Township or most of Duplain Township.
That's kind of that's an oversimplification. First off, that neighbor also pays taxes, so he's also paying for the millage as well. Also, there's a lot of different factors that can cause that spread. If we get there in time, we can have a water curtain up to prevent that. If it starts on the opposite side or the middle of the house, we can get there before it stops, because we are here in the village.
My house is a quarter mile from my nearest neighbor. If that's the case, do I have to worry about that as much?
How much property do you own?
10 acres.
Do you have any barns?
Yes.
Those are gonna go too.
Mhm.
Same thought process.
Yeah.
I mean, your barns are just as far away as the neighbor's house is.
If I lose the barn, I don't lose them.
That's you, but that's not saying somebody that has livestock in there,
Oh,
who loses all their horses. I mean, it's the same concept.
I disagree, but my house has a detached garage, and the barns are farther from the house than many of the neighbors in these neighborhoods.
I understand that, but that's not always the case.
It is, it is in many cases. What we're trying to point out is that the risks within the village are different. Okay? That's one of the reasons that we're asking that you step forward and make some kind of adjustment.
But it's not fair for our residents to have to pay more than you do just because you live in the country. It's not fair for our residents, and I want to say this so the camera can hear me. It is not fair for our village residents to pay more money than anybody else covered by this fire department just because we live in the village.
Okay?
And I would be,
If that's the case, then we shouldn't need to worry about it.
Well,
But
I have a
that's
question
not,
as well.
There are other problems.
So if the village is being sent an agreement like this, does that mean that Chapin and Carland are as well?
Chapin and Carlin are,
They're in the same coverage zone, are they not?
Carlin is not.
Not.
Okay? Carlin is part of our township. Okay, and it's covered under our.
And just so you
township.
understand, it's not Elsie part of
hold on, go ahead, Rick.
Just so you understand, we cover Chapin regardless, with Chesaning and Marion. They contribute. That's it, they contribute. They want to see it successful. This millage don't pass, it's a moot point. You guys don't want to contribute, the millage don't pass, it's a moot point, we're done.
But I guess that's kind of my
There's no
point
money-
is,
There's not enough money to operate. And all the cost increase since being evicted from a building that was roughly 50%.
that's not fair. You know that's not how that was supposed to go.
That's
You don't have to
not-
throw that
that's
out.
not
Anyway,
true.
we're
That's-
not in that building
not
anymore,
true.
guys. I'm not gonna argue with you. I didn't come here to argue, just state
Oh, yeah,
facts.
you did.
Our costs are high. Yes, we took money out of our savings account. Duplain took money out of savings to fund the department this year. So it's not just what you don't contribute, it's the extra we have to pay.
I understand that. What is
If
the
you don't wanna
likely,
contribute, don't.
what is the likelihood that a millage would pass, knowing that close to 40% of those people that are voting on that millage know that they also have to pay an additional $30,000?
Well,
I think it's more likely to pass if they don't
What do
have
you
to
think
pay
it's
the
gonna cost
fee.
you when there's no fire department here? What do you think it's gonna cost you for Ovid or St. John's or Owasso?
I don't know, I hope that day never
I think you
comes.
should do your homework. I have.
But like you stated though, wouldn't the village at that point be covered by mutual aid then?
Well, there's
No,
mutual
it's a
aid.
separate government entity.
And coming from where?
It's a separate government entity. You're a separate government entity. You can look it up.
We
And if
got,
it were to come from Ovid, Ovid is 6.4 miles away, and they are charging, Omesa is charging their townships 1.75 mils. So if Elsie does fail, and you don't have Elsie here, they're paying 1.75 mils.
And their
So that's
taxable
covered here.
value is a hell of a lot more than Duplain and Village of Elsie. Break up Omesa and do it. Look what Middlebury pays for Omesa.
mhm,
Their tax base is a lot more than our tax base.
yeah.
And
These
My-
residents have enough to pay for.
My biggest
So-
concern is the fact that our village residents are already paying for this millage. We're already paying for it, and it is not fair for the village residents to have to pay more money just because they live in a village.
And if you break that out, $30,000 by the 2020 census of 930 people, that's 9 cents per person per day.
Our biggest,
I already paid Duplain
Hold on,
Township 29 cents a day to have coverage.
I'm a
I pay them
salesman,
$87 a person per year.
I use that tactic as well, but when you really break it down, it's not typically one person in a household though, there's multiples. I've got 6 people in my household. I'm not gonna expect my kids to pay their part of the taxes, that's not how it's gonna work.
So when we initially put out the 30,000, I mean, that was a starting point. We said we negotiate. Bottom line, we've got to have an agreement. If the village cannot and will not donate additional funds, that's fine, but we still have to have an agreement
Oh,
with the authority to provide coverage.
on the agreement, so where is the justification of the village pretty much taking on 100% of the liability of the fire department? Because in that agreement, I'm not finding anything that wouldn't be covered under our liability if we were to sign it. Basically, crash through a house, wreck a truck, the village is on the hook. Correct?
I mean,
What's
this
your
was-
agreement, didn't you?
This was drawn up by our attorney. I read it a long time ago. I don't recall. Rick, Tim,
A long time ago?
we've had it for a while, Freeman.
What is,
well, from quotation of section 5, it says the village shall indemnify, defend, and hold harmless authority, its board, officers, employees, agents, and volunteers from or against any and all claims, damages, losses, costs, expenses, including reasonable attorney fees arising out of or results of performance or services under this agreement. So that pretty much says that we assume all liability.
So is that a portion of the agreement that you disagree with and want taken out?
I mean, that, what, hold on, let me ask this, what is your bottom line then? I mean, if this is a negotiation, what's your bottom line?
What do you mean, what is our bottom line?
What's the least you're gonna take to cover the village?
What do you want to see? What are you
We're gonna
willing to
cover
do
the
right now?
village
Are you
anyway.
not willing to do anything?
We have no choice, okay?
We-
You're our neighbor. That doesn't mean that we don't have problems that we're trying to get solved. What you seem to be zeroing in on is the fact that it's the Elsie Fire Department. It's not, okay?
No, I
It
wish it
belongs
was.
to all of us.
I never zeroed in on that at all, I'm
I
on the
don't
fire
think
department.
anybody's ever been.
I understand that, I've made those calls.
Okay?
Hey, something to think about, you guys. I'm not gonna sit here and haggle with y'all. I mean, you can't, you gotta spend your money other ways, spend it other ways, whatever. But remember, you got fire hydrants, we don't. You have response time, we're still right here in the village. We still wanna come and protect everybody, but we can't do it without.
Actually,
No, just 1 second. Without a flat tire. If you don't like the agreement, Jason, have your attorney write down. That's fine. We're open to stuff. If you guys don't want to contribute and the trucks can't get to your house, so be it. We're just asking for a contribution. If you don't want to, our attorneys told us we had to have a binding agreement that comes with a financial amount. That's up to you guys.
That's an absolute lie.
Well, then
Because
don't offer us nothing, and whatever happens, happens.
Well,
That's
and,
fine.
and speaking of fire hydrants, so in the agreement, it also states that fire hydrants have to be active and working at all times, or we have 30 days to repair.
Okay.
You guys know as a fire department, do you not, that how many fire hydrants don't work?
Just scratch it out, tell them, some don't work.
So,
No,
It
you're not
doesn't matter if
understanding.
you wanna work with us or you don't, that's what
You're
it
not
boils down to.
understanding, we have 27 hydrants that don't work, it's costing us $198,000 to fix them.
Right,
So where are we gonna pull another $30,000 out?
that's,
Figure that out, Rick, come on.
say it, where do we pull extra money out, Chris, to put in so we can keep it going for another year? We had to dig deep, we just paved Reagan Road, we just put on Parkland Road, we're doing stuff, we know. You guys are the
So,
only
Village
people,
Levy,
the only institution around that's suffering financial difficulties. None of these were our fault, okay?
we're not putting the blame on anybody. The monetary issue is a huge issue for us. We can't afford the 30,000. There's a lot of other things I feel like we could probably do to maybe make up for that. Okay? The fire hydrants, we have a plan in place we have a grant we were approved for to replace the fire hydrants. Is it gonna happen in the 30 days that the contract says? Absolutely not. That's just not possible.
Then pencil
And,
it.
let me finish. Like, I understand that, that's negotiable. We can talk about that, we can hash that out, timeframes can be worked out. The 30,000, we just honestly cannot do. So, what can we do aside from that? Water?
You guys know your numbers. I can't tell you that, Corey. All I can tell you is if an engine, a motor goes out in the engine, we're done. If we don't have the money, we're not saving any money for the rainy day fund, it's over.
Where do you think we are? Where do you think we are?
Right? No, there's no
So,
question about
you
that.
guys see what you can do and let us know.
Well, this is just my opinion, but as far as a monetary value goes on any type of donation, I don't think we're gonna be able to do anything until we're out of the DEP. After that, sure, let's go back to the table and negotiate, but at this point, if you need a dollar amount, you got it, I'll give you $1.
We could at least do like what
Will you give
And
us
we'll
a-
do-
will you
we'll
give us
do-
an hour
excuse
to
me.
find
Hold on,
an
hold on.
We'll do water at your building for you, we'll do trash at your building for you. And that's it. In my opinion, that's about all we can afford.
Okay.
She just sat here and said that we have $10,000 to get us till our next tax bill. It barely covers payroll.
I don't even.
I agree that everybody's in a deficit issue. Ours is a little extreme.
So, you know, Jason, this fire board, I've been on it for a few years. None of us have ever taken a dime. We all just, I don't know if you can say that or not, but we don't take a dime, we're just doing this for the people. It's emergency services, we were evicted, we were told that you could not have a non-revenue generating asset.
That's why it's a
Correct,
dollar.
that's what you said.
Sure.
Where you holding your meeting?
Right here?
Exactly. In a non-revenue generating asset.
Sure.
All you have to say, work it out, let me know. I've had enough to I can't do it.
I don't have a problem with the free water.
I don't
free
have a
garbage.
problem of always reassessing this at a later date, because if he's not staying, then there's no sense in
He's
even
not the whole
discussing
board.
it.
We can still.
No, I
discuss.
agree.
He's not the whole board.
We can still discuss.
There's
It's
still
just
a
'cause he's
Fairfield
not.
representative.
That's up to you guys then.
I wanna get this hashed out, just as, I want this done and over with and behind us.
I think a lot of it
I don't
though,
care if we gotta sit here till midnight.
Well,
I gotta work.
Well, that's fine, but.
I think a lot of this is gonna come down to a discussion between Duplain and the village, and to see what Duplain's expectations are. Because if they tell us that we need to contribute for an agreement, then we'll have to reassess it.
Well, I just want to touch on one thing that he said about that we have to have an agreement. In the Attorney General opinion, 1984, that the fire board sent us, it says in there the statutes authorizing townships to provide or contract for fire protection are permissive in nature and not mandatory. A township board does not have the authority to require the village located within the township to enter into a contract for fire protection services. So it's right there in black and white that we do not have to have
Well, and that being said, I completely agree, but on the other end of that, none of us wanna see the fire department fail.
Absolutely not.
If we had the generated income and had the money in the bank, we would pay the fire
Yeah.
department.
Okay. Can I say something real quick? I didn't bring this up. Steve Adair wanted me to touch on it. Again, Steve Adair, the financial controller, not Destiny Bryce, the village manager or the police chief, okay? We are in the deficit elimination plan. Hopefully, we are out of it by the time we submit our financial audit to the state of Michigan, which is due in September. At the end of the day, we can talk about this till we're blue in the face. We can't sign a contract with anybody regarding a financial contribution of any kind. We have to get it authorized by Treasury.
The state
Like-
shut this down so hard.
So, here's my proposal, what I'll throw out there, and obviously we have to both vote on it, and everybody has to agree with it. I say for the fire department, we do free water, we do free garbage. What else do you want that would help, that doesn't require monetary, because we're willing to do what we can.
Can I add a little bit to that?
Yeah.
Any grants that come up that we're able to get
Exactly.
for you guys, we'd be more than happy to put in for.
We'll fill out any grants that we can to help support the fire
And,
department.
and that could possibly be more than your 30 grand, we don't know, but we will put in for anything. I mean, you know, we wanna make this work.
The fire, like the fire hydrant situation, like, we wanna get those fixed. That's a village thing, and there's nothing more frustrating to any of us than pulling up and having a broken hydrant, like. And we have the funds coming to do that, we just can't do it overnight. So,
That's gonna be a 6 to 8 month process.
I would say
So just-
18 months, just.
Be safe.
So just to put that into perspective too, the fire hydrants were $198,000 to install the 27 fire hydrants. That is $99,800 and some change. This isn't a small contribution. And yes, I will apply for grants. I reached out to them, I heard zero, nothing. Nobody said, hey, thanks for the information. I get it, I'm not being confrontational, but these grants, they're not easy to apply for. They take a lot of time. They take a lot of my time. And I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do whatever we need to do. I support the fire department. I've never not supported this fire department. I'm just sick and tired of getting scrutinized as the village. I mean, how many times can we get beat up over it?
Destiny, who did you reach out to?
I CC'd everybody on that email, and zero fire authority people email me back.
But Jason was thanked at the township meeting for reaching out. So there was a recognition of that,
Acknowledgement.
an acknowledgement.
And I think I also stated too that we would be willing to do it. That in particular has been frozen.
Yeah.
Once it is not frozen, by all means, I'll sign the line to approve for that.
I'm not talking about after the Duplain Township meeting. I'm talking about the day that Treasury, it was sent to me by 3 people from Michigan Treasury. Hey, send this to the fire department. So I did, and nobody responded. I said, hey, this would be a good grant opportunity.
Well, regardless, we've got,
Oh no,
I
I'm
mean,
all
we
put
can do,
together.
we can do the free water, we can do free garbage, we can do, the grants.
So we need to, if that's the case, then I think we need to cut our own agreement. If that's what Rick was requesting us to do, then let's put pen to paper, cut our own agreement and keep it and bring it to the fire board.
That's all we're looking for.
Do you guys have a time frame that you're looking for? I know ASAP, but.
Likewise.
Next week?
As soon as we can. I mean, we just became the authority effective April 1st. So this was our next thing that we needed to do, was to get the agreement with the village. Because yes, our attorney did recommend that we do have an agreement because you are a separate entity.
Which it is.
And I don't disagree, I mean, a
Doing a lot of
recommendation and a
research,
requirement.
it is accurate.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a recommendation and a requirement are 2 different things, so.
Oh, I
A recommendation, I wholeheartedly, and you should theoretically follow what your lawyer says,
So
contrary to what I do.
I have a question. There are no authority bylaws or articles, so we would be entering this agreement with no articles from the authority,
So the article that, the agreement that we created with Duplain Township and Fairfield, that is it.
okay.
So that specifies So no, there is nothing else.
We have all that, right? Yeah. I couldn't get.
And everything was filed with the state of Michigan, Secretary of State for the authority?
I have not done that yet.
Okay.
Working a full-time job and this is a volunteer non-paid thing for me, it's difficult.
Well, it's a lifestyle, you know that. So that's another thing. I mean, what did your attorney have to say about the establishment of the authority? When will that be done? Since you said that it wasn't filed with the Secretary of State yet, so are you technically an authority yet?
Yes, it was signed by both entities.
Okay. So our attorney asked about that too. So do you have a time frame?
I believe that they have to be entered in, otherwise you can't operate under an authority until you have articles and bylaws filed, I believe.
We were hoping to have the village as a contracting municipality, but that seems to run into a problem. Now,
We're talking about
originating
articles
their
and bylaws
contracting,
for the
what-
authority.
Same as Chapin.
So you are becoming an authority, but you are technically not an authority. You are, but you're not. It hasn't been filed.
It has not been filed yet.
Okay.
But yes, as soon as I get a free moment, I will probably get that done.
I'm not missing, I'm not trying to rate your rules, I'm just asking, I apologize.
Me too.
So that's what I say,
I agree with that, I mean, do we need a motion for that? I'll make a motion, okay.
no, because we gotta get Dave involved and re-involved, so.
So I'm just writing an agreement for the things we
Well,
talked about.
I think that we need to look at the Duplain and Fairfield, and we play off that. Because there's zero liability for the fire department to operate under their liability, so.
Okay.
The difference between what we're asking and what you're proposing is both Duplain and Fairfield are originating municipalities. They are because they're, we put it together as, in both instances. And at the same time, we're funding. You're suggesting that your funding will be minimal? Okay. Chapin Township is putting in $15,000 for a third the number of people that are.
So how much are they paying in their taxes then for the fire department?
Yeah, how are we minimal when we pay the exact same tax rate as everybody else?
Not only that, but on top of that,
They're in
44% of the
Saginaw
budget.
Township, or Saginaw County.
not only that, but we are also providing all the water for everything that you guys do around here.
From the water tower.
So if you wanna raise our mills in town, because our houses are closer together, then we need to raise yours equally, because your houses are further away, and you have to travel and put wear and tear on the equipment to come back here to get water. Use the logic. If you're gonna raise the mills, raise it for everybody. Don't punish us because you have an attitude against us. We didn't do this. The people of this town did not cause this problem. So don't punish us.
Clarification for Chapin
I
and
won't go
Saginaw
into a
Township.
long rant.
They pay 1.5 mils, they pay in 3 different departments.
Correct.
They stretch their millage to the max.
No, I agree. I'm
So
not
it's
even
not just
counting.
50, but they pay 1.5 mil between
And it
3
will be
different
2.5
departments.
if our village passes, okay? Plus, we've had to hit our general fund,
But what I'm saying is, it's not fair to punish us. If you're gonna raise the mills, raise it for
so is
everybody.
it fair to punish me?
I don't know if it's fair to punish
My
anybody.
taxes are going up.
So
I
am
know
I.
that.
So are ours.
But you're saying that we're an inherent risk because our houses are closer together, but every farmer out here that has a grain bin has an inherent risk because that is pure carbon. You know what I mean? You're arguing schematics and it's pointless. Raise the mills for everybody
And
equal.
we can argue this all night long.
Well, we're not gonna argue anything,
But
but
I'm just,
At this point.
let's
look
put
at
it
things at
into
a kindergarten level and you'll figure things out.
I'll talk
Because
to you
kindergartners, when they open their mouth and say things, it's usually right.
Well,
Even though it
let's
shocks you.
let's put the dollar amount into perception, okay?
Yeah.
The fire department or the fire authority operates on a budget that's pretty much the whole village's budget,
Tax
Okay.
base.
tax base.
Okay,
So put that into perspective. We have how many full-time employees? We have a water department to run. We have a lagoon system to run. We agree that we're not splitting hairs and we're not, gonna get into an argument or a debate over he said, she said, straight up bullshit. We need to come down with true facts. So, when we can afford it, we will come to the table with a financial contribution.
All right.
But
And
until
in the
we
meantime,
can't, right now is what we're saying. In the meantime, we'll do everything we can, but this agreement that you guys
That's
sent.
why I brought it to you so that you could make
Well,
some.
we've already
Counter-offer.
decided
Yeah.
that we're gonna rewrite this, we're gonna present it to them, hopefully you guys are okay with it. I don't wanna argue, I wanna get this done and over with.
I motion that we table this discussion until we come to our.
Until we have an
attorney and
agreement.
present another agreement.
Alright, on the brighter side of the fire department, so Destiny did that, village beautification thing here, what was it, last month?
Yeah, May 26th.
The fire association decided that we would, chip in and donate $150 for, towards
Thank
the
you.
flowers and that.
Appreciate that very much.
There you go on that. And that's the firefighters that voted on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
It's not me, I'm just a
Thank you,
mouthpiece.
firefighter.
All right, so we don't need a motion to contract table this. We can just, we'll make it an action step. What's that?
Action step for next month.
I mean, we can. Do we want to make a motion to approve the president's report?
No.
I'll
You
motion
didn't have
to
the
approve the
report.
I
president's
didn't.
report is read.
I'll second. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Public comment.
Yep. Now we have public comment. If anyone has anything to say, you get 3 minutes. Just state your name, where you come from.
No,
if you don't mind.
I got time.
Please stand too, sir.
No, I'm not gonna stand. I'm Dan Favis, I live right here on First Street. I wanna ask that guy a question on the fire thing. I live right here in town, I got a fire hydrant right on my corner. You guys can have 10 house fires on in that whole 2 blocks and can service every one of those. I know what you're saying as far as you live out in the country. But what I'm saying is, we have houses in town, my next door neighbor's 150 feet from me. Joe's got one that's 150, 200 feet from his house. I know what you're saying, but you gotta come up with our point too, is we have fire hydrants located in enough part of the town so we can service these fires, so the fire department can get to them. You see what I'm getting
know
at?
that.
Yeah, and I understand, I lived on a farm, I know what you're saying too.
Do you know if your hydrant is one of them?
I think our hydrants work.
Our hydrant works.
Mine does, on the corner. Yeah, I'm just saying, I understand your point and their point. One other question. How many other towns over the Elsie's size is paying for their fire department plus county? Let's say Fowler, Westphalia, Pewamu, Maple Rapids. How many of them towns are paying the same amount of taxes to their fire department as we are? Do you know?
I do not know.
Okay.
I would suggest that most of them are paying more. Whether it be a township or whatever.
Okay,
They're-
that's what I'm just asking, I'm, you know, 'cause like they said, we pay 40%, I just wonder how much, like, because, for example, Fowler would probably be the closest one, because they have about the same amount of houses. I mean, how much do they pay for their fire? Because they pay for county too.
And keep in mind that most of what you were paying before
Yeah.
was in kind,
Okay.
okay? You were picking up the insurance,
Yeah,
you were
okay,
picking up the telephone communications, as far as I understand.
okay,
Okay,
Yeah.
things that you were already paying for, okay?
okay. Well, I have no problem, I don't have a
And
problem paying it.
And that was, you know, the
1999 agreement.
Yeah. There's an agreement.
the statement about the eviction kept getting thrown up, and it frustrates me because we didn't want to kick the fire department out, and we've said that 1,000 times, even though everybody seems to, village excluded, seems to only throw out that we evicted the fire department, we wanted to evict the fire department. That wasn't the case at all. We wanted to rewrite the agreement because it wasn't fair that the Village of Elsie was paying for all the bills, all the water, paying for the building, and having no reimbursement at all for it. We couldn't afford to do that, much like we can't afford the $30,000 now. It's the same exact situation. We just wanted to redo the agreement, so that
That's not
wasn't
what
the
the
case.
liquor said.
Have you ever worked for a union company?
What's that?
Have you ever worked for a union company?
Yes.
So, I've been with a union company for 19 years. I was a union steward for 3 of those years. I've sat through contract negotiations. That was a letter of intent for contract negotiation. That wasn't a, hey, get out of our building. That was a, hey, we need to sit down like adults. And we need to, it's interpretation, and it was interpreted that we were throwing you out, and that's all you are here.
Regardless of how many times we sat here and said, we don't want you to leave. We do not want the fire department to leave. We said it, I said it personally 100 times, not just in this room, but standing in the middle of that fire department. We did not want the fire department to leave. We just wanted to renegotiate the contract. We sat in public meetings and said that several times. We've said it out in the public to people that we talked to. Everybody we've talked to, him and I alone, I can tell you probably said it over 1,000 times. The letter was just to get the ball rolling, because that's what the contract said we had to do to renegotiate.
But we were to either pay $1,200 a month or pay $300,000 for the building.
No, it's not, wasn't it? You did.
Yes.
So, I mean, and that was final numbers, that was non-negotiable. So
Those-
yes, we did leave.
Right,
And now
but
our,
what are you paying
And
now?
now you're gonna spend
Pardon?
What are you
900,000
spending
on the
now
building?
in rent?
we're at $800 a month in rent.
Okay.
That kinda doesn't make sense, does it?
Pardon?
I said, now you're gonna spend 900,000 on a building? That doesn't make sense,
Well-
does it? You couldn't spend 300,000, but you'll spend 900. It doesn't matter what it is. You could've got the grant to cover your bills where you were.
The 900,000 don't add right.
Congratulations.
So I know that there's been at least 4 or 5 different council members that's approached probably 3 or 4 different of us from the fire department of, you know, us moving back into the village-owned building, our own fire station. Kind of as a wash, you know, you would charge us per se, $1,000 a month in rent. We would charge you $1,000 a month for ready to serve, but they would wash and it would exchange hands. Is that something that's on the table, or is that completely off the table?
Not my decision.
I mean, it was never a formal thing, it was just
It was just talk.
bypassing conversations.
It absolutely was talk. I don't think it's out of the question.
No.
However,
It would have to be voted on.
with the situation currently, with the new building coming into play, it would have to probably stipulate at some point that when you move out of that building, a new contract would be addressed, because then we would be on the hook for that money that we said we would cover, you know what I mean? So like, we would still, if you're paying, let's say you're gonna pay $1,200 a month there, to be there, but we're gonna pay $1,200 a month to have the fire department.
Right.
That's a wash. Now, if you guys move out of that building, they're no longer on there, we're still on the hook for that $1,200 a month. So, I mean, if that was gonna be a situation, I'm 100% on board to talk about that and absolutely discuss that and have that be an option. But the contract would have to state that it would be renegotiated at the point of departure. That's my feelings on it. I can't speak for everybody else.
My humble opinion is it sounded great on paper, but how much money in new equipment did we just get, Chris?
170,000?
And now we're able to keep that stuff inside. The backhoe died prematurely because it was not being able to keep it inside. And as of right now, other than the lagoons and the water tower inside, that barn is now our largest asset. And to be able to protect our new assets, so we are not in this, this is just me talking, I don't see it being feasible because of the wear and tear on the building, and we aren't getting any money for it. And right now, we need to be revenue generating, not net zero. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because it was tossed around with so many different people, so, I mean, if it is something that you're willing to work with, you know, let us know formally. If not, you know, let us know too, because we understand that we have one of our sheds still on your building, and the discussion, or on your property, the discussion was, you know, we need to wait and see how this turns out, if we're gonna look at moving back, because so many people approached us about it. But if it's a no, we're not moving back, then we need to get our equipment off your property.
Well, there's no timeline for that. We're not pressing you out on that. By no means would I ever do that.
It's not
So,
interfering with
it is
anything.
not interfering with anything, so, by no means are we gonna do that. So, as far as the negotiation factor of that, that's up to you guys if you wanted to entertain that option.
I mean, we obviously have to put it on a,
So let me ask kind of a rebuttal question then, okay? If say you do get the grant to purchase or build a new building, would you be interested in buying that building right outright?
I don't know if the grant would work that way.
Yeah, it would depend on whether the grant would work in that direction.
Purchase
That's been a thought that
for
I've had
purchase
right
instead
along,
of,
was purchasing it, redoing it, getting it up to code, getting up to spec, and, making improvements. But I don't know if the grant will actually allow us to do that. It's something we have to look into.
well, let's do this then. Why don't you guys look into that aspect? Not that you have to do it, obviously, but just so you guys have options as well, or we, I should say, just so there's options there. I say that we add an action step for the next meeting to discuss the potential wash situation with the barn, discuss it, talk it over. I don't necessarily disagree with your thought process, but I don't disagree with that being right either. So I personally need a little bit of time to mull it over and think about what I feel is probably the best situation.
any other public comment?
I would ask that you also consult with somebody about a contractual agreement with the authority. I realize it's not really an authority yet. It will be, okay?
Absolutely.
We were holding up, waiting on the village, at least in part, to see what you were gonna do. It sounds like you will make some steps forward. We will, do so as well. But we would like to have your ideas in writing.
Sure.
Well, you were at our DWSRF when FE Engineering was here, and they presented this wonderful, horrible, depressing, infrastructure about our water. And they indicated straight up in black and white that our water mains, how'd they word it?
They won't support the fire hydrant.
They won't support the fire, whatever.
Pressure.
They
Pressure.
can't produce the volume.
They're not up to code.
But in your agreement, it says that we are on the hook for that too. So,
All
I'm-
things that just have
And
to be
again,
added.
this was preliminary to get this finally rolling.
I get that, but I'm not against the fire department. What I am against is for 20-some years, the Village of Elsie has been all about the fire department. And nothing has been updated. And now, Chris and I, in the council, have to deal with all these infrastructure issues because nothing has been updated. All the money was shuffle. It's all about the fire department. I get that, they're important. But at the end of the day, we have to make tough decisions. And our residents already paid for this fire authority. It's hard.
As long as we have the money to operate the department, you'll be covered.
Thank you.
Okay, because
Thank
as I said, you're our neighbors, you're our friends. Okay, however,
I'd love to be your family.
we are in a dire situation. Both Duplain and Fairfield are going to have to increase their millages. Not just because of the fire department issues, but also because of EMS. Okay?
Yeah.
Both Duplain and Fairfield have different problems together. Okay, but they end up in the same thing. We're going to have to almost double our millage.
So let me ask you this. Have you looked at a second plan with the Clinton Area Ambulance Service, or are we just gonna continue to give them more and more money?
That's,
That has
we
not
went
been-
into this. We don't use Clinton area.
They're way out of
Okay.
this.
Oh, Fairfield, no, I'm talking about Duplain.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, everything goes up,
Yeah.
and it's all on the taxpayer.
And it has.
Find someone who can service you.
No more questions?
It becomes more and more difficult.
Turn your own.
Fairfield lost
I don't know. how
three
to get
different
around. I have no
ambulance
idea where
services
to
I
go.
think
in a very
I
short
think it's
period
in
of
the
time.
library, I don't think you have access.
I have no idea
along. Clerk and treasurer's report.
Alright. So first things first, me and Excel had a little bit of a problem. I had sent out new utility rate sheets that all had miscalculations on them, so I will be sending those out again in the next billing cycle. The Elsie website's seen some larger changes this month. The website is on track to meet the new compliance deadline of April 26th of 2028. Utility bills are due on June 26th. Regardless of paperless billing status, everyone should receive a utility bill by mail because of that new rate chart that we should probably ignore. That rate chart did go into effect on April 1st. The service period for the most recent utility bill is from April 1st through May 31st. There were 8 shut-off notices sent out in May with a shut-off date of June 24th. Once water has been shut off, the customer must pay the $50 turn-on fee along with at least half of the past due amount and also fill out a payment arrangement form for the remaining balance at the village office during normal business hours. I've been seeing a lot of people trying to make the payments online and then just not even getting it. Any payments that result in water being turned back on after 2:30 p.m. on the 24th will not be turned on until the following day. On June 24th, the village office will be open until 6 p.m. The water meter upgrade appointments have reduced. I just recently sent out 106 water meter upgrade notices through the bills. The service period for, sorry, that is all up there. The Village of Elsie received a donation in May in the amount of $300 for Heroes Park. The letter is attached in this packet. There are currently 6 upcoming pavilion reservations for 2026, which includes 1 new pavilion rental. Please be advised that the DPW is still working on the water lines around the pavilions. And that is
So will you be
I can't
doing,
read
That's a
that.
lost art.
will
Thank
you
you,
be
guys.
doing the rate chart?
Have a good night.
Yes,
Have a good night.
Available at the office?
It is immediately available, yes. I did redo it on Monday, yesterday. I posted it on the Facebook. It is updated on the Village of Elsie website under DPW. And it will be resent out again in August? Is that June, July, August, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Is the next meter reads August?
June, July, August.
Yeah. Cool.
They didn't, yeah, we didn't do
July 31st.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Make a motion to accept the clerk treasurer's report.
Support. Motion's been made and seconded to support the clerk treasurer's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Police report.
Buzz.
You seconded that,
The treasurer.
calling out.
The Elsie Police Department conducted 9 traffic stops this month. Complaints have increased from last month with a total of 44 calls for service in the Village of Elsie. A total of 140 hours were worked at the Elsie Police Department this month. Police activity for the month of May consisted of traffic enforcement, motor carrier enforcement, medical assist, and several ordinance violations. And of course, community policing. On May 26, 2026, the Elsie Police Department participated in the Ovid Elsie Beautification Day. The 8th grade students had a blast, even though it was very warm outside. We painted the shed down at the park, Ovid Elsie colors.
I'd like to add that all looks very fantastic, by the way. Beautiful.
We also planted several flower boxes next to the park pavilions and Heroes Park as well. Kelsey and I had a blast doing this, but it was a lot of work.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
No, okay.
So we had paint all over us. I can't even get the paint off my work boots, but it was fun and the kids had a good time and it was nice to have positive interaction. Code and zoning enforcement has continued. We will be sending additional certified letters to blighted properties, reminding residents that large item pickup date is right around the corner. This will be the last attempt to allow residents to clean up their properties. After large pickup date, we will be issuing citations for blight, zero tolerance. People have been warned, several notices have been issued. It's time to clean up Elsie. Animals at large complaints have increased. I'd like to remind residents that all allowable animals in the Village of Elsie must be confined to owner's property, and this boils down to safety. Safety to the other residents, safety to the owners, and safety for the pets as well. 2 properties have been mowed by the village for tall grass per village ordinance, and we will continue to enforce this as well. I look forward to reviewing additional ordinances with the ordinance committee to help make the Village of Elsie great again and to accommodate the needs and convenience of our residents. As always, looking for another great month here in Elsie.
Make motion to approve the police report.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to support the police department. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Managers report.
Managers report.
I got that. That's what you gave us.
As previously discussed, we received 2 FDCVT grants from the Michigan Treasury, a total of $268,543 for fire hydrant replacement and the purchase of a Bobcat mini excavator and trailer. That was in the amount of 70-some thousand. So thank you, Treasury. We know your state budget is getting smaller and smaller, and we appreciate everything that you have done for the Village of Elsie. The DWSRF has been submitted as of June 1st, 2026 as planned. Once again, the Village of Elsie unfortunately does not meet the overburdened state requirements for the median household income here in Elsie. And according to their score sheet, the median household income is $59,000. We actually looked at it with Steve Adair, our financial advisor, and FB Engineering back in October, and it was not $59,000. So what that means is we will probably not receive any forgiveness on the state revolving fund, which jacks at $9.2 million at $9.2 million. The best thing we could do is to try to, receive more grants for this project. And at the end of the day, if we can't afford to do it and it's too expensive for the residents, we don't do it. But be prepared when it crumbles, because it's there. We deal with it every single day. As we have received the 2026 tax assessment roll from Duplain Township Assessor Mark Holly, and Steve Adair and I will be working diligently to process tax bills and get them out in the mail by July 1, 2026 as required. Again, I just want to reiterate, taxable value, taxes for the Village of Elsie, operating tax. We get that one time here in the village from the village residents. And at the most is $240,000. It is not a lot of money. It's really hard to run a village on $240,000, especially when they cut state shared revenue and other things. McCurdy Asphalt will be starting on the Elsie Park pathway and asphalt patchwork within the last week of June. According to them, the pathway should only take 2 days, fingers crossed, as we would like to see residents and visitors utilize this upgrade to the walking path as soon as possible. Also, before I forget, Dukes, that they were the contractors that came to Elsie and updated or repaired the gas lines here in the village. They were great to work with. What was it? Oh yeah, Dukes was the other one. So they were great, but somebody asked me the other day, what's going on with the cuts in the pavement? There's a lot of cuts around here. There's a lot of curbs that had to be, fixed due to the repairs. They will be back in Elsie. They will be repairing that, and they will be paying for that. That has nothing to do with the village. That's not our bill. So, if anybody asks, that's what we're doing. Our financial audit is set to start in early June 2026, and Steve Adair and I have been preparing for this for quite some time. I look forward to it being completed. We talked about the DEP filings. I've also been working on implementing an asset management initiative so we can prepare for improvements with all of our critical infrastructure needs here in Elsie. Creating a plan so a logical financial solution can be reached for years to come. Councilmember Dorothy Ornelas and I attended the Lansing Economical Chamber of Commerce monthly meeting. This was an eye-opening experience and look forward to attending more in the near future. Additional efficiency and policies and procedures have been identified and will be presented to the Personnel Committee at a later date for review. This has been a very demanding but necessary project regarding the smooth transition for best practices in local government. DPW Supervisor and I will be meeting with Miller Legacy on June 12th, who will be completing the installation of the new fire hydrants. They were highly recommended by our neighbors in Maple Rapids, and they have an anticipated start date in the middle of July, depending on when we receive the already ordered East Jordan fire hydrants. Zoning and ordinance amendments have also kept me fairly busy this month. We have several that need to be updated and or changed. I've also reached out to our village attorney as we explore what is necessary to enact a moratorium on data centers. Everything is squared away for Dairy Festival. We look forward to this event for years to come and hope everyone has another safe and enjoyable experience here in Elsie this year. As always, looking for another great month here in Elsie.
Make a motion to approve the manager's report.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
With, all those fire hydrants, they invite you to go up and do a tour again?
No, I've done it twice.
Third time's a charm.
I drive by there all the time.
Motion's carried. DPW report.
Well, like she said, McCurney's coming the week of the 29th, and they're also gonna fix it. We had the main breaks at that same time. The best news of all is that the motors have been installed in the South Lift Station, and it does now run on its own.
Fantastic.
And that was a 7-month headache, but, I sent with your packet a letter from Eagle, and that was for the sewer. That was my,
Yeah.
did you come look?
What is the interesting letter?
Yeah, some of them things were, like the stuff that wasn't done, that was all before me, except one. And I talked to her, she said, well, we'll put it in there that you already corrected. Well, she didn't do that either. But basically, I didn't go in on the website and click a box, so I didn't discharge it. So when you discharge, you gotta send in all the numbers from your lab tests and everything. But the grass is getting cut out there. We ordered a new flow meter, because the one we have, we can't calibrate it, so we'll put in there in 2001. So we're trying to get that installed.
Did you get a thermometer for the refrigerator?
No, that man's not been ordered yet. I've been looking for it.
TJ
gotta
has them on sale.
You even have to have a certain NIS, getting certified. Yeah. Pretty much, the stuff's all the simple stuff. We just gotta take pictures and send it in before the plan. So, and have a plan on how to, because there's a constant drainage from the discharge structure into the river, but it's not coming from the pond, it's coming from groundwater, so there's a hole in the pipe somewhere. And doing some research back on our portal, Mike Townsend, the guy before me, submitted a letter stating he knew it was there and that he planned on getting it fixed. So that was, I don't know, 15 years ago, probably. So we did try to camera it. Our camera was a little small because it's a 24-inch pipe. And we couldn't get to where the water, got just about where the water started. We're working on that. Kelsey said, appointments will break down, I made an appointment tomorrow for them.
I got another one, in my email too, for next week.
Like Elsie said, we did get a grant for a mini up there and a trailer. We're getting a trailer from E&M. Keep it local. We like to do.
What's,
Any ETA on that?
When I ordered it, it was 4 to 6 weeks. And he said the next day, I asked him, you said 4 to 6 weeks, right? He goes, yeah, the build date's in June, so it should be this month. So it should be here by the end of the month, I'm guessing. The trailer's already built. They had the last year's model sitting there that we got some money off of it. So we're going that route. Still struggling to keep up with the grass. Should never end the
Dale's gonna
process.
be helping in the interim.
I had Dale out to the cemetery twice. Well, 2 days last week. He tried to go last week and attempted to get the park because the lagoon is 2 foot tall. Because we put it aside, because trying to keep the cemetery, keep the complaints down, and put the park mode, we put that aside. And now the lever we pay for it.
I just want to say something. I was very impressed with our DPW. The other day, Friday, everything always happens on a Friday.
of course.
Matter of fact, I was supposed to be in Maple that day. And village manager duties called, and police chief duties actually called as well, because I had to direct traffic in the Explorer, because I didn't have my truck, and then Chris and the boys had the Bobcat, and Chris wanted to purchase this accessory that we had to have, this implementation, and it picks up brush. They had that big tree taken care of in less than an hour. Consumers was out there, Spectre was out there.
In front of Beth's?
Yep,
Nope.
nope. There was 2 by the,
Friday, Friday was one across, right between the Tom and Burks and Pastry, so right between
Oh.
that and Owens.
Good gracious.
Is that what you used to pick up my brush?
Mhm.
Nice.
so it was
It was there and then it wasn't.
very nice.
Rick's
to-
last house.
Like, man, it's crazy what we can do with good equipment. So, but the trees are another issue, you guys. You know, we had residents complain about trees in the right of way for several years, the last 2 at least, and we didn't have the money to actually take care of them. And now they're all breaking at the same time. Last night, Chris and Keegan were out till what?
We
8?
went- Oh, yeah, that's what I got called by a resident because one fell, he landed on top of her truck, but it was still up in the tree. So I went there to cut it, and I said, I didn't touch it, because I didn't want it to roll on top of her house. You know, I don't get paid that much.
Well, we appreciate that because we don't want the insurance claim either.
So, yeah,
Well, those trees are all
and
the
it
same
did
age.
neighbor roof it in the truck.
Didn't we, because we were talking about it earlier too, didn't we back years ago, and Joe, maybe you can remember this, but didn't we, I thought we put together an ordinance about the village-owned trees. Now, I know we did for the sidewalks.
I
Wasn't it
think
the
it's the
residents
same
were,
ordinance. It's 50%.
that's what I thought it was,
Yeah,
but she can't find anything.
because
I've
when,
seen it on
when we did the sidewalk in front of Ross's, and they cut the tree down, Ross's were a little tweaked because they had to pay half. It's in the ordinance book.
Yeah.
I don't know where
Well,
it's.
when my brother lived right down the road from you too,
Yeah.
they had his removed, and he got a bill for half.
I can tell you when we had my mom's removed, the village covered it all. That was 15 years ago.
I was gonna say, that was
Yeah,
back
that was
before anybody
before.
knew the
Well,
ordinance was there.
when they're 2,000 a tree,
Yeah, it was
like Chris told me
3,500
this
for that
morning,
one.
Right.
he said, Destiny, these trees are gonna bankrupt us. I mean,
Yeah.
we've had 3, literally 3, and Johnny on the Spot company, though, what's their actual name? I call him Johnny on the Spot, East Island Road. I mean, he came out, took care of that branch last night at 9:30 at night.
Mhm.
It needed to be taken care
Yeah,
of.
'cause those 2 in front of my house weren't that big, and they were 1,400 apiece.
Yeah, that's
And then the
expensive.
cement guy never came, which is great, because I couldn't afford it nowadays.
We will be trying to take care of some potholes in some of the roads. There's a huge one that was mentioned to me on First Street. We'll be taking care of that. I could probably get lost in it.
There's a big one on Main Street too.
Yes, Oak Street, there's another big one.
Now, mind you, I can't fill the ones that somebody put crushed asphalt. I can't put holes. So that will just come out and be a hole.
Who put crushed asphalt?
I don't know. We did.
Good Samaritan. Right, thinking they were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
He hates when I volunteer him for stuff, especially when we have 2 DPW guys, so. We have posted that position, again, starting wages $16 an hour. I'd love for it to be more, but financial controller says it's $16 an hour.
Better than 50.
Pardon?
Better than 50.
Yeah, yep.
Could be positive.
You don't have to travel all over town.
I
Is
think
that
that's all we
Is
have.
that a Corey Woods gonna apply?
Yeah, that's all I got.
I make a motion to accept the DPW report.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the DPW report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Action steps. First one, we need a approval to approve resolution number 26-0003. Resolution accepting the FDCBT grant in the amount of $70,273 towards the reimbursement expenditures required to implement the entitled mini excavator and trailer.
So
Support.
Motion's been made and seconded to support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call now. Let's do a roll call.
Joe Anderson,
You say no to it.
Aye.
It's getting
Sam
trouble.
Frank,
Aye.
Corey.
Corey Witt.
Well, Mark brought up a good point. If we say no, does that mean Chris has to use a shovel?
It's already over.
Oh, that's kind of fair.
Aye.
Broke that too.
Broke that too. Of course he did. Add that in the budget. New
We
shovel.
can't.
Mark Helt,
Aye.
Todd Carroll.
Aye.
Dorothy Reynolds. Jason Freeman.
Aye. Action step number 2, approval of resolution number 26-0004. Resolution accepting the FDCVT grant in the amount of $198,280 towards the reimbursement of expenditures required to implement the project entitled Fire Hydrant Replacement Project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. We'll do a roll call.
Joe Anderson,
Aye.
Sam Frank,
Aye.
Corey Witt,
Aye.
Mark Helt,
Aye.
Todd Carroll.
Aye.
Dorothy Reynolds.
Aye.
Jason Freeman.
Motion carried. Approval of the Village of Elsie L-4029 Village Operating, 10.7 miles. Mills, my bad.
The eye silent.
That's the same as it's been, right? The template's on
So moved.
Isn't it?
Second.
Two
it.
different figures in
Pretty
both
sure
of
it's
them.
the state max.
25 and 26, there's different figures.
Yeah, so equalization, did I say that? Clinton County Equalization actually, approved it. Basically, the L 4029, it goes off of the L 4028 through the county. So, Kylie from Equalization, she's a sweetheart, she actually changed it. So it's actually right here. This is the right one, so if you guys wanna pass that around. But I showed you 2025 and 2026 so that you could see the difference, the fluctuation,
Oh.
because of headwind. So,
Oh, because of the heavy limitation.
yeah.
I'll motion to approve the L 4029 operating mills of 10.7.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. We'll do a roll call vote.
Joe Anderson.
Aye.
Sam Frank,
Aye.
Corey Witt,
Aye.
Mark Helt,
Aye.
Todd Carroll.
Aye.
Dorothy Reynolds.
Aye.
Jason Freeman.
Aye. Motion carried. We will have another public comment if anyone has anything else to add or.
There's something with Dorothy Reynolds.
Yeah, your standard.
She hasn't done it.
Which,
tomorrow's the open house down at the dam from 5 until 6:30. You want to talk to the DNR? They offered to be there, and I said, of course, wear your shirt with your name on it. So come and ask them plenty of questions. U.S. Fish and Wildlife will probably be present because they are now down there relocating our mussel population. Someone asked, are they going to be able to walk in the water because it's a navigational stream down the park? They may be asked not to in some places because that is where they're relocating the mussels, about halfway, or about 3/4 of a mile from where they're at right now. So there should be someone there from U.S. Fish and Wildlife. There will be somebody there from the DNR, and our project manager will be there too to answer questions. That dawn is not preventing you from fishing, but the safety of that dam continues to deteriorate, especially in the north wing, since the high water episode we had. Also, on the 25th of June is our public hearing that we must have by law to go over the project. There will be, all of our stakeholders will be there. All 18 will be present. I hope Nicole's here as well to explain why that sloop is so important. It's from a historical point of view that we cannot cover, we cannot move, we cannot do anything with it. So we're having to make adjustments because of that piece of cement from the grist mill. It has great historical value. So you can take
Then
that.
you're gonna sell it?
Huh?
So can we just pull it and sell it?
Well, at first they told us that we could bury it, and now we can't even bury it. It has been defined, or the description is it's like a septic tank with an end at both ends, and people have been throwing brush in it for decades. But it has historical merit. And then also, don't forget that the funding for village office are available and must be submitted to me by July 21st at 4 p.m.
Thank you.
Do they have to relocate every single mussel, or do they have to get a majority of them?
Majority. So they will be there a week now, 2 weeks in July. I'm going to post the schedule. They'll be here 2 weeks in July, 2 weeks in August, a week in September. The mussel moving season ends October 15th.
There's a season?
There's a season?
Well, yeah, we can only do it. We will not be cutting any trees down there at this point either because of that brown bat that we must protect, and it might crawl underneath the bark.
No eagles though, right?
So, no.
I've seen one up on 150.
So, again, we're looking at, they should have all they're going to relocate done by October 15th. Our permitting is just about ready. We had to redesign again to meet the DNR specs, and we wanted to address those before we submit, or they'll hold us up again. So we anticipate by the time they move the mussels, we should have our permit and we'll be letting out bids. They will not be removing the dam until a year from now.
2 sticks of that.
I know, and we
Cocktail
have,
sauce for
no one can understand. I mean, there was talk, briefly, that, if we have everything in place by October, and by November you have your contractor, let's begin construction. No, because they're gonna start at the Island Road Bridge, and they're gonna landscape as they go. If they start in as winter approaches, we will lose all that because of the road, and it will go into the river, and it will affect the fish passage.
Leaving the bike
We
though, right?
cannot do that, huh?
Leaving the bike.
Bike
right?
stays.
That's
The
gotta
bike
stay.
sticks.
Can we
Bike
border
sticks
that in
stay.
or something?
We're gonna
It needs a fence post.
So when they start the project, they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna landscape as they go. So by the time they get to the dam, we should have growth happening.
The place is big talk, that's becoming a landmark.
Yes, it fell and somebody set it back up for us, so thank you.
Is it back up?
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to like mortar it in so it doesn't move.
Well, they're going, the
Don't do
big
that, you'll kill the
holdup.
mussel.
All right, so the water there is 11 inches deep. That's what it is. It is what it is. But the DNR biologists want to narrow it in a place and make it deeper for fish passage. Well, what that does to our engineers is, yeah, we can do that, but it's going to fill in. So we're going to have to take precautions and make sure whatever we do to make it deeper stays deep. So that's what engineering does. Our engineers worked on numerous dam projects, never worked with this many stakeholders. And it can be, 18
That
people is
river
hard
was
to
there
make
before,
happen.
it's gonna be there long after we're dead.
Mhm. we
I'll
have
make a
to
motion to
retake
approve the dam report.
Motion has been made for the dam report.
I'll motion to approve.
Wait,
Well,
any more
I-
public comment?
More public.
All right.
Now,
Support.
motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.